Welcome to this Orcs Must Die 3 beginning tutorial. If you're looking to learn the basics of the game, you've come to the right place. Now I will tell you that Orcs Must Die 1, 2, and 3 are very similar in terms of the strategy. It's very similar. You're laying down traps and tactically laying down those traps in order to stop orcs from reaching a rift. So the basic concept is the same. So in terms of the layout of this tutorial, that's what we're going to cover. So what I'm saying basically that if you haven't played 1 and 2, you can still watch this and you will find it very helpful. What is different is something called war scenario, and we will cover that last in this video because that's sort of the big difference between Orcs Must Die 1 and 2, the difference between the first two and this one. So, okay, so anyways, let's get to it. There are basically, this is the main campaign called Old Friends. This is Drastic Steps, which is some DLC, Cold as Ice, which is DLC, Tipping the Scales, some more DLC. So you can purchase these. I have found that Tipping the Scales is the best one. This is the one I like the most out of all the DLC. There's also some other game types. If you unlock maps, you get to play some of those in endless mode, and that's exactly what it is. The waves just keep coming and coming, whereas in these versions, the waves are you basically have a certain amount of waves, and once you complete those waves, the mission ends. So that's the difference. You also have weekly challenges, that speaks for itself, and a scramble mode too, which I haven't played a lot of. But we're going to basically talk about the main campaign here. So if you click on that, first thing I want to show you, and this is similar to all basically all the versions of Orcs Must Die 1 and 2, 3. They usually have 3 levels of difficulty: Apprentice, War Mage, Rift Lord. Rift Lord being the hardest, Apprentice being the easiest. If you have never played this before, if you've never played it, I recommend you start out with either Apprentice or War Mage. Now the good news, here's the good news, is that you can keep replaying the maps over and over again to try and get 5 skulls, and that's ultimately what your main goal is to try and get 5 skulls. Now how does the skull system work? Well, let's go back here and let's go to this map right here. You can see I got 5 skulls. Now I haven't played all the maps yet on Rift Scenario, but you can see on Rift Scenario I got 5 skulls for Order Temple. Here you can see I got no skulls, but that's because I haven't completed it yet on Rift Lord, but I have completed it, I believe, on War Mage. If we go to War Mage now, you can see I got 4 skulls. And I'm actually kind of glad this one I did get 4 skulls, and this one I got 5, so I can tell you what the difference is. And this is a huge point. Now, your ultimate goal is to stop any orcs from reaching the rift. So if you accomplish just that, if you stop all the orcs from getting into any, so basically if no orc goes into the rift, you will automatically get 4 skulls. If you also complete the mission in a certain amount of time, you'll get an extra bonus, an extra skull. That will give you the 5 skulls. Now, how do you know what that time is? Well, there is actually an option to turn that on, and I will show that to you. It is in the gameplay thing, and it's in here somewhere. Show par time. So if you want to know, I think initially you shouldn't worry if you're first starting out. I don't think you should worry about this. But once you get better with the game and are able to get 4 skulls regularly, I would start to worry about the par time. And basically what this means, it'll be like a counter. I'm going to actually show this to you, but it's like a countdown timer. And once it hits 0, you can no longer get 5 skulls. You could get a minimum of 4 skulls because you didn't allow any orcs in, but you do have to complete it in a certain amount of time to get the extra skull. So that's how the skulls work. The skulls are very important because they basically allow you, well, obviously it's sort of bragging rights that you got 5 skulls, but they also allow you to come to the spellbook. Here's a spellbook. Every Orcs Must Die version has this, where you can buy traps, you can buy weapons, you can buy trinkets. You hold trinkets. So that's basically it. I usually toggle the all items on so I can see everything I've got. And here you can see my current spellbook. So it shows you everything that you've purchased that's in purple, and it has everything that you haven't purchased in black. These are things I haven't got yet. Here's how many skulls I have, which is 5. And like I said, you can keep replaying the missions if you're low on skulls, and it will reward you with more skulls. So that's kind of the cool part about this game. You don't have to necessarily You're not going to be stuck with not being able to get any more skulls. You can always get skulls by replaying missions if you want. There's no limit on that. So you can go back too. Let's say you're on mission 10 and you want to go back and play mission 1. You can certainly do that. Now, everything in purple is available for every map. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about the war scenario. These ones in brown here are available only in war scenario. This giant flip trap, the knight, and the mega boom, and the snowblower. You can't. So basically, I can only play these on war scenario. These ones in purple are available on every single map. So that's the important difference there. That's effectively the big difference. So I just wanted to talk about that. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of my favorite traps, and then we'll actually do some in-games, show you the mechanics there. Arcane Dragon, actually I didn't really use this in the beginning, but this has become one of my favorite ones. It kicks out a ghost dragon, and I'll show that to you, how that works. And what's kind of cool is every trap has, this is how it works. So you have some experience you have to get first. So here, this trap has to kill 75 enemies, and then I unlock a unique upgrade. You only get one unique upgrade, but this one is the one I liked. It bounces the ghost dragon off a wall, and it comes back. That's very useful because you basically get double the pleasure. You also get level upgrades and special upgrades, and these all cost skulls. So everything costs skulls. Think of it that way. So just remember that each of these traps, you have to go in here and you can buy different upgrades for them. I also do like Arcane Wall. This is probably one of the biggest traps in the game. Kicks out these sort of fire darts. This is a big one. You can put this on walls. And there's some upgrades here too. You can see here pierce enemies, damaging an additional target. There's also special upgrades. I haven't got it yet for that. And level upgrades. So you have a lot of upgrades you can buy. I don't use auto ballista a lot, but I do use it here and there. The Bank of Archers, this is one we're going to talk about. This is a big one for the war scenario. And we're going to talk about the war scenario. Barricade is probably one of the most used, especially I even found with Orcs Must Die 3. I mean, you're going to use this if you play 1 and 2. You will have used this, but this is probably the most used trap. I found I needed to use this even more in Orcs Must Die 3. And the basic point of this is to cut off routes that the orcs can go. You want to funnel them into a choke point. That is the really big use of the barricade. You will use this. They gave a new upgrade that I really like in Orcs Must Die 3 where you can actually, it'll take up 2 spaces and increases the cost, but it also doubles the size of the barricade. That's probably one of the most important upgrades, at least for me in the game. I really like that. So the other one, Brimstone, obviously use that. Ceiling Laser. I wasn't initially using this in Orcs Must Die 3, but I almost use it on every map now. This is a really big one because what it does, you will find that, especially in Orcs Must Die 3, there's a lot of enemies that resist fire. And so what's nice about this is, so for instance, the Brimstone wouldn't do a lot of damage to them, but the laser will attack pretty much everything. So you kind of want to think about that, keep that in mind, that yes, you can certainly build fire traps, but you also want to have some traps that damage everything. I don't really use the chain lightning staff a lot. The confusion flower is really good. It does exactly that. It sort of confuses the enemies and makes them go back in the wrong direction. I do use the crossbow. The floor scorcher I use quite a bit. Now, keep in mind, this again will not injure the enemies that are resistant to fire. This is a nice trap. It'll basically flip them. This works well with the war scenario. Again, it's only available in the war scenario. And what this does is basically it'll just flip them into the water. And you can only use these. A lot of these, I want to point out, you can only use these outside, and we'll talk about those. Grinder, very, very important trap. I like that. Does a lot of damage. Guardian Archers, you will use these. These are nice to sort of put near your rift as like a last scenario. That's how I kind of use that. Ice Amulet's nice. Does very well, obviously, against fire-based enemies. Magic Longbow, this has become one of my favorite weapons. You know, obviously, you're going to have a weapon that you're going to use yourself for your hero, and that is very important. Ring of Storms. This is a trinket down here. There's certain trinkets. I like this. I almost use this on every map. And the big one here is you get it basically kicks out a cloud of lightning. And you can see here I got a special upgrade, which increases the active storm duration. I almost use this on every map. We'll talk a little bit about that. You get, so I think we went through all the traps here. Let's see. Yeah, tar trap. I mean, that's probably one of the other biggest ones. Slows down enemies. We're going to be talking about that quite a bit. Spike trap is also a big one. Snow cannon is huge. Snow cannon works really well with the laser because the laser, when you put it down, you're going to put those down and you're going to say, well, these don't do a lot of damage. Well, the reason is they're always on, so they do a little bit of damage. But if you start slowing down the enemy and combine those with the snow cannon, they can do quite a bit of damage. They can do a lot of damage. So just keep that in mind. Some traps work better in combination with other traps, and I think that's one of the best examples. Spike wall, I love this. It knocks them back. And so this is nice to set up, like, if you have a nice trap setup, you can knock them back and they have to go through the choke point again, so you can keep knocking them back. Tar trap, we talked about that. Butterflies, I wasn't using this. This is sort of a new one with Orcs Must Die 3. And I wasn't using this in the beginning, but this is really cool. It actually confuses them and makes them stuns them, and they get lost, and they'll. So this is good to slow them down. Basically, that's what this is. Here's the heroes you can choose. This is retired Max. You'll unlock him. This was the guy from the first two, but you can use any of these. And they have their different, you can look through them. But I used Egan and retired Max quite a bit. Okay. So that is sort of the basics of the traps. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to set up, we're going to actually flip to Rift Lord. And we're going to start out with a war scenario map. And let's see if I can pick one here. I don't want to pick the last one because that's sort of the... Let me see if I can find something here to do. Front lawn's good. Okay, so we'll do that. It's a war scenario, and we're going to just... Basically, we're going to walk through this, and we're going to talk about first how to set up the traps, and then we'll talk about the war scenario. And then we'll do a little bit of a walkthrough in just terms of fighting and some strategies you can take. All right, so let's go ahead and play it. Come in here. And again, see, I can just replay this. And it's telling you, hey, you can use those Bank of Archers. Yeah, war scenario only. And we'll talk about those guys. So first, let's talk about the... We'll let her talk.
Why won't you understand, Cygnus? The Orcs need a master to shape their single-minded stubbornness into obedience.
Warwick, old friend, any control would be temporary. See the Orcs for what they are, an unstoppable force of nature.
What I see, old friend, is that you refuse to share your power. And
they're just going to keep talking for a while. Yeah.
If that is truly your goal, look to the defense of this rift. They are coming.
Okay, so first thing you're going to see for every map, no matter if it's war scenario or not, and the war scenario maps are basically similar to the regular maps. I mean, the strategies are the same. There's just a lot more orcs coming. So you're going to see the path they're coming. So you can see one path, they're coming this way. Sometimes it's only one way they're coming. And you can see there's another, it'll be coming over here as well. So what we're going to do is first we're going to set up a block here. And I want you to see how this works. This is very important. So I'm going to set up a block with these barricades. And look at that. Now they're going back that way. So that's one way you can tell if your barricade actually works. You can see, hey, they have to go all around. So that's the first big funnel that we're doing. We're funneling them all this way. Very, very important. You can always sell. If you put something down wrong, by the way, you can always sell. You just hit the E button, and you can always resell it and put it back down. So don't worry about that. If you have to do it, no problem. Just keep that in mind. You can always resell. So again, now we can see they're all coming through this gate, but we've got a big problem here. You can see here is the rift that we have to defend. This is what it always looks like. Well, you could see basically we let them through here. They're going to have a lot of different ways to go. So we want to set up some blocks in here as well. So first thing we want to do is actually block them from coming through this side. So we're going to set up a block over here. And now they can't come through this gate over here, but we also are not done yet. We've got to set up a block here because we want to funnel them through this way. Then let's put a block here.
Hello, old trap buddy.
And let's put a block here. Actually, I think we need to put one here. So now, at this point, basically, they are going to come only this way. This is the only way they can come. So that's what you first want to think about when you're setting your barricades. Give that some thought on every map, especially if you have just one general way they're coming, I guess it doesn't really matter. But if you have this rift like this where it's wide open, you need to set up those barricades right away. We couldn't afford to let them all in. We can't deal with them. We're not powerful enough. Okay, so now we're going to talk about one of the most important parts to the game is setting up your traps. Now we're going to be coming through here. So what I like to do is put down a tar trap, a spike trap,
Go up, orcs go down.
a tar trap, then a tar trap here, spike trap, spike trap,
Straight into them.
tar trap, spike trap. Now I want you to take a look and see what we did there. This is the basic. I used to make a mistake. What I used to do was just put a bunch of tar traps down. No, bad. What you want to do is actually alternate them. First, it's cost, because you can see here this tar trap costs a lot less than the spike. But the other thing is the spike trap is actually going to do more damage. So it's kind of cool because even if they're coming, no matter what way they come, they're going to hit it. We're going to slow them down, but they're also going to get hit with some damage. So that's the really benefit. The other trap I like to alternate here with is the brimstone. So you could actually replace the brimstone. That's going to cost a little bit more, so keep that in mind. All right, so now what we're going to do is put down the laser trap. Now, this goes on the ceiling, and you can see here I can hit the R button. By the way, the R button will always rotate them. Keep that in mind, always rotate them. So let's throw that down. You can see there's our first, well, I'm trying to get that out. There's our first laser. Okay, so we're putting these laser traps down, burning right through our money real quick.
Somebody to do this for me.
There we go. Now, remember what I said. By themselves, these aren't the best traps. They are really good, though, with the snowblower. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this snowblower down. And this is primarily to slow the enemies down. We're actually going to put 2 of these down. So we're really going to hit them right there. And then the other thing I want to do is put down a dragon trap. Now, remember I said these things will bounce off walls? Let's put one right there. And what's nice about these, they have a long range. Look at the range on it. It goes all the way down here. It's going to bounce off that wall, and we're going to hit them. So we're going to put one of those down. And then the other thing I want to do, and this is really sort of mean, is we got to hit this R button. We are going to put one of these down, which will knock them back. For some reason, I forgot the name of it. Now, keep in mind, you need to make sure that you put this down so that you're kicking them back in the right direction. If I flipped it this way, it's actually going to throw them to the left. Well, we don't want to push them toward the rift. We want to push it this way. The way you know which way it's going, basically the hinge is the way they're going to the right. So if that hinge is on the right, they're going to the right. If the hinge is on the left, they're going to the left. That's the best way to think about it. So let's put that right. Actually, let's put this right. Well, we can put it right here. And actually, let's put another one down too. So now we got 2 of them. Now we only have 300 left. Okay. So what we want to do, especially on these war scenarios, but also even regular maps, we want to try to confront them and kill as many of them as possible so we can get some money, run back here, maybe put down a few extra traps. What you're going to find with every types of Orcs Must Die map, if you can survive the first, I guess the most danger is in the beginning, not in the end. Once you get your trap set up, you'll get more and more powerful. So what I'm going to do first is actually hit them. You can see here, if you scroll, I'm going to hit them with the Ring of Lightning, because that does a lot of damage. So you start the round,
Just so ready.
and here they come. Now these guys, you're going to see them sort of running down there, and maybe, you know what I'm thinking about is I probably should have put the barricades up here, because they're going to run all the way down and turn around, and that would actually not be good for our time. And by the way, take a look at that par up there. You see it? That's our time. I have that on by default, so I need to complete this war scenario in 25 minutes and allow no orcs in. in order to get 5 stars. And you can see I've already done that, but I just on Rift Lord. But like I say, so we're attacking it. You can see the cloud out there, the Ring of Lightning. It's doing a lot of damage to these guys.
Well, well, well.
Now,
Dynamite archers could pose a problem.
now what I
Yes. Remember
let
to
these
fight
guys
them
talk.
far from any barricades.
So basically, with any of your melee weapons or your ranged weapons, you get if you right click, you get an alternate fire, which does more damage, and then the left click is just the regular attack. But you can see here, if I'm right click, I'm actually getting 3 shots. So you want to do that as much as you can, but it does take up mana. Just keep that in mind. I'm getting hit right now with. Oh, I'm kind of glad that happened because I wanted to show you can always run back and get healed by your rift.
Enemies are preparing to
So you're going to see I can come back here, and there we go. Now, hopefully, the Ring of Fire has renewed. It looks like it has. Now, this is what I said. We can lay down some, real quickly, lay down some extra traps,
through a gate.
and maybe this will make a difference. So we're going to hit that cloud, put that cloud of fire down. See how important that is, by the way? And let's see if we can get past this round. Again, these early rounds are very important. They're already getting through. Okay, so I'm just going to place down right now some stuff on the ground and try and delay them as much as possible. Again, the first round, first couple rounds is very important. Now, one thing I will tell you, the big difference between Rift Lord and by the way, you can see the map on the up on the right here. You use that as much. You need to use that as much as possible because you can of course see where they're coming from, and it's easy to forget. But if you see, we can see all those little red dots. We can actually see that the next wave is on its way. All right, so you can see those snowblowers really doing their job there. Okay, so we got to concentrate here though. So we don't want these guys to get through. And what I'm going to do, this might be a little bit closer than I wanted, but you can see these extra traps are really helping. Just these few that I got down in these last couple minutes are helping out a lot. All right, I just laid down another cloud of fire, and boy, did we need that. It's going to be close. I think we survived it. Okay, let's actually put another laser down really quickly. And you can see on the map, I can see there's yet another... Well, see, that's what I was talking about. See, that's what you have to watch out for. You can see that they're running down here, all the way down here. So maybe I wanted to put that barricade up there. So that's another thing you want to think about time. If you put the barricade in the wrong place, which I kind of did there because they are running all the way down there and then turning around. You can see that's really consuming a lot of time. So probably I should have put that barricade over here somewhere. I think that's what I should have done. So while we're waiting for those guys, and I'm not really worried about time right now, you can see here on the right, Shift+1 puts down these special war scenario traps. So that's what we're going to talk about next. I'm going to try to get some more money to put those guys down. But the biggest and most important ones, in my opinion, the ones that I like, are the archers and this snow trap. Those are the ones that I like the best. The lift trap I also use a little bit too, and we'll see if we can get some money to put at least one of these down. We'll see. I think I'm just going to retry the mission to show you though. So that's kind of the basic concept of the game, how to put traps down. We just did that. Now I want to show you the war scenario ones.
Cygnus and Vorwick would fight one more battle together before the end.
Why won't you understand?
Okay, I actually hit the pause button so you didn't have to listen to all that diatribe. Now, one thing I didn't point out before you start the game, the mission, you have the opportunity to actually open up the spell book, which you hit B, and you can choose different. That's a key point. You can actually choose different traps that you want. So just wanted to point that out. And you can see here, I've got kind of the ones I like. But like I said, the biggest, the ones I like the most are the snowblower, the group of archers, bank of archers, and the lift. So I'm going to show you all 3 of those. Normally, now, in terms of strategy, I think it's more important the first round to get your traps down and your barricades, and then maybe later on work on these guys, because these guys, they're important, but you want to put them down, I think, in the second or third wave. There are certain times you can actually put these down, but you just have to sort of figure that out. I'll let that figure. I'll let you figure that out yourself, but I will say that I usually, my general strategy is get all my choke point out first, then I start worrying about these guys. And like I said, the biggest difference between Warlord and Rift mode, and this is a huge difference, on the easier modes, you get usually you'll get a break in the action where you can put your work on your defenses. On Rift Lord, you do not get that. So you want to sort of think about how you're going to lay your traps down beforehand. Now that's why this first, before you even start the mission, is very important, the setup. So so I'm going to put down some of these traps to show you how these guys work. But what I'm saying is normally I wouldn't put these guys out first. So here's the bank of archers. These guys do a ton of damage. They have a huge amount of range. In fact, when we start this, we're gonna go out here. I'm gonna show you how far these guys can shoot. So we're gonna put some down here, and then you want to think about other areas. Like we could also put them out here, right? And they'll do some damage. So let's put them out here as well. If you got enough money, maybe you put a couple of these out here. I mean, they will be able to strike both sides. Okay. And then what we're going to do is the snowblower is really good to put right here. I like this because it'll actually hit them as they're trying to come through this gate. And it'll also delay them a little bit from breaking that gate. So that's how that works. And again, you can only, for the most part, put these on the outside, so they will not work. Now, here's the flip trap. Now, this is a key point. You can see that arrow in the middle? Make sure you're not pointing that. I've made this mistake many times. We don't want to shoot these guys into our base. We want to shoot them out here where they will die. So let's put a couple. Let's put a couple of these out here. There we go. Okay. So, and normally I would not play this game this way, but I wanted to show you how these things work. You can also actually, this is really cool. And if you get maybe round 3, you can put down a lift. And this is really cool. So let's rotate that this way. And then what I can do is I can go in here and I can put a bank of archers right here. So that's very useful. So you'll find certain, let's put a couple of them down. And let's put some more over here. We got a ton of archers. I would never put this many out right away. But let's see how this, it'll be interesting to see. Oh, I didn't put any barricades. That's okay. We're not really trying to win this. Let's just see how much damage this does. So let's go and let's start this now.
I'm ready if you're ready. Are you ready?
And you're going to see these guys are just going to really crank on them. Right away. See, they're already firing. Look at that. All right, let's throw down a cloud too. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out. I forgot about. Oh, this is a huge point. You see those little 3s I'm getting? That's important, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. We're going to hit pause because I want to talk about how you can get more points and bonuses, which increase your score too. They're actually stopping them pretty good.
Remember to fight them far from any barricades.
Maybe I will try this strategy next time where I didn't put barricades down, so they're going to bust through. But so here we'll see the lift. And see, it just lifted them all out there. That's good. Unfortunately, they're going to get through over here because I didn't stop them over there. But they are kind of really hitting them. But it wouldn't be enough. Yeah, it still wouldn't even be enough. Let's see if we can lay down a cloud. Yeah. There we go. So we could hold them off here for a little bit. All right, but that's not what I wanted to talk. Let's retry. I wanted to talk about another important point. You will get you do get bonuses.
Master Cygnus and Vorwick would fight one more battle together before
Let's hit the pause button. I don't want you. Okay, they're done talking. All right, so this is a very important point I wanted to. There's so many aspects of this game, but I did want to talk about something interesting in terms of bonuses. Bonuses basically, you'll see these numbers when you kill. If you kill an orc, you'll see sometimes these numbers. You saw them before. Where it's like a 3, a 4, a 5. What does that mean? Okay, well, you will get more money and a higher score if you concentrate on those bonuses. And I will tell you how that works. I didn't understand it when I first started playing, but I understand it really well now. So basically what that means, let's actually put down 3 of these so I can explain this. So let's say an orc comes through here, or actually say he comes this way. He hits this, he gets hit by that trap, he gets hit by this, and we hit him. It's going to be either a 3 or 4. And the key point is he's got to be hit by these traps. Keep that in mind. If he dies right here, that's not going to do anything for us. But if he gets hit by 3 or 4 traps and we hit him, we're going to get a bonus of 3 or 4. Now, let's say he came through here, and I didn't do anything. He just came through and he was killed by. Let's just assume he was just killed by this single trap. Well, we wouldn't get any bonuses. Or there was an orc here and I just killed him and no other traps touched him. No bonuses. So you want to think about that too. Like, it's really good to try to rack up those bonuses, and by setting up a choke point with different traps, you're going to get better bonus opportunities. So just think of it that way. That's a really important point. And then, like I said, you can put these butterflies on the wall, and these will open up and confuse the enemy. Those are good. Usually, you can put these like you could put that right here, and then maybe put this trap here. So you can alternate them. You can also actually just stick it above it. You can do that too. So these fit in different places really well. So that is the basic mechanics of the game. I hope you found this useful, and let me know in the comments if you have any other suggestions or tips. Certainly let me know. I don't think I'm pulling a lot of this off the top of my head, but if there's anything else I missed, feel free to put a comment in and let me know. Thanks for watching.